Hey. Hello, Connor Sullivan. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. We're very excited to have Water for Elephants come to Huntsville soon. I guess it's like, I don't know, 2.5 weeks away or something like that. Maybe 2 weeks away.
Yep, it's coming up quick. Weeks, I think. Yep, week and a half. Yep.
Nice. And where are you right now?
We are currently in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
beautiful city here. I've never been to
Yeah.
really, really nice.
Okay. So I I noticed that you have toured a lot though, right? With Chicago.
I toured for a couple of years with Chicago the musical. Yep.
Okay. And how was that?
That was great. I had a really great time. I mean, that music and that dancing, it's just such an iconic show to be part of. So that was really cool getting to travel and hear people's responses. Yeah.
Excellent. So you're because I know, touring is not for everybody, but it sounds like if you've signed up for another one that you might be okay with it.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, that's great. That's great. In my former life, I was a touring actor as well, so I toured for
Okay.
about 12 years. I
Nice.
loved it. It's a great gig when you're younger, I think, and then yeah, after a while you want to be a little more settled probably, but or not.
Any highlights of the shows that you were on? Any standouts?
Uh, I mean, I toured for a really long time with Les Miserables.
Okay.
Yeah, like the original one back
Wow.
before the revival. So I toured with it 2002 through 2006.
Oh man.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it was I never thought I would stay with the show that long, but I just couldn't leave.
Yeah.
So,
Man. Oh yeah. That's a dream show. That's one where you get on and you've got to stay with it for a while.
right. Yeah. Yeah, it's the longest I've ever been a part of a show before. But yeah, it was my favorite show before doing it, and it continued to be my favorite show. So, even working in the restaurant, I was still eating the food. So uh
Yep.
yeah. But enough about me. Let's talk about you. So I saw Water for Elephants on Broadway, and just a beautiful piece of theater. I absolutely loved it. So just tell us who you were playing and a little bit about the show.
Yes, so I play the role of August. He's the ringmaster of the circus. Basically, the story of Water for Elephants follows a young man named Jacob. He is living during the Great Depression, 1931. He loses everything and he jumps on board a train. And the train ends up being a circus train. And he meets a whole host of characters as he's joining the circus, including my character, August, the ringmaster. I also am the villain of the show. So he meets August. He also meets Marlena, who is one of the performers in the circus and is married to August. And Jacob and Marlena end up falling in love. So there's a sort of a love triangle there. And it's really a story about not just the dazzle and spectacle of the circus, but also finding home and finding community and hope again after losing everything.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. And tell us about the cast of this tour because it's not your typical musical theater casting, is it?
Yeah, it is really interesting because we have your musical theater actors, singer, dancers, but we also have a cast of seven professional acrobats um, who have done sort of just circus their whole lives and are being inserted into this traditional musical theater world. And they, I mean, in addition to being really spectacular circus performers and acrobatic performers, have also just been really great at integrating into the cast and learning the singing, dancing, acting side of the story. So yeah, it's a really unique show in that way.
Right. That's what really took me when I saw it on Broadway because I was just watching these like these acrobats with these mad skills that are not from your typical Broadway community, but just blending in perfectly. And I thought that was such an interesting way to see this show. So yeah,
Yep, it's really unique.
yeah, and of course the puppetry is just gorgeous in the show as well. You of course have Rosie the elephant, but I was so taken with the horse.
Hmm.
And I mean, what can you share with us about that, like without giving too much away?
Yes, I mean the horse specifically is a really great moment. There's this song called "Easy" that's in Act One, where Marlena is singing this beautiful ballad while one of our acrobats, who is does a little bit of puppeteering initially with the horse, but then he hands off the puppet and does a silks routine while she's singing. That's really breathtaking, and what a lot of people say is sort of their centerpiece of the show. It's something that they all remember walking out. Um, so that's is a really cool blend. The show is a memory play, so all of the puppets are um, sort of highlighted with what this main character remembers most about them thinking back. Um, so that's a really cool element as well. Like sometimes we just see the head and the front part of the body. Sometimes we just see like, the head and the legs, or Rosie's trunk just shows up initially. We get to know Rosie slowly over time, and with that puppet, first we see some bits and pieces of the trunk, and then we see the legs, and then finally we see the whole puppet as he's slowly thinking back and remembering how it was meeting this elephant and getting to know her. So that's a
Ah,
yeah.
that's really brilliant. Yeah, I'm glad you broke that down for us. Excuse me, pollen season in the air.
Feel that.
Yes. So have you played Huntsville before?
I have not. No, never been.
Okay. Okay, great. So I'm glad y'all will be here for a full week. There's lots of like interesting, unique things in Huntsville, like the Space and Rocket Center. I'm sure y'all will take a
Yeah.
tour of that and such. So that's great. It's a very tour friendly city because I know for myself, that was important to me. Like all the cities that I played, is there places to eat? Can you walk to the theater? Where can you get coffee? Is there unique things? So I think you'll have a good time here. So yeah. So
Great.
tell me, with your touring, do you have like a favorite city or something that's really stood out to you, like when you were in Chicago?
I've really enjoyed New Orleans. That's been a favorite city that I've gone back to a couple times.
Mm,
I've been back to Denver a couple times. Um, and I'm excited to add Huntsville to that list and see what the highlights are there. I think,
great.
yeah, in each city you get sort of a quick slice of what that city is. Um, so it's a good chance to kind of you kind of can't even try to take the whole thing in because you just don't have time.
Right.
So I'm excited to see what the slices of Huntsville. If you have any recommendations, it sounds like that rocket. Is it a museum? Is it a rocket center? What is that?
It's a rocket center. So NASA is here. This whole Artemis 2 launch was from Huntsville.
Okay.
Yeah, and so there's a whole space and rocket center. There's a space camp that for like the kids they can go to every summer, and so it's a really unique part of it. Like there's rocket scientists that are actually there at the Space and Rocket Center that you can talk to. They'll just sit in a chair with a sign that says rocket scientist. So
Okay.
it's a cool thing. I know that all the tours that come here love to go as an outing, and so it's just a unique offering. So
Yeah, we'll have to check that
yeah,
out.
yeah. So tell me, do you have a favorite musical besides Water for Elephants, of course?
Funny enough, you bring up Les Mis, and that is usually my answer when someone says favorite musical, dream show. I love Les Mis. I mean, that music is
Right.
so epic and so stirring. Um, I'm really partial to other sort of folksy music. We have a great score in Water for Elephants by Pigpen Theater Company that has elements of folk and bluegrass and then sort of pop and contemporary musical theater. And I'm really partial to a score that's like that. And so Once is a show that I always really gravitate.
Mm,
Um, even
that's a
so,
great show.
that's a show, and especially just getting to see like actor musicians in shows like that. So that's been something that I've loved about this show, is that it has sort of those elements of folk and bluegrass in it, and I love those kind of musicals.
That makes sense. Yeah, and you'd be great in Les Mis. I did a little, deep dive on your social media and such. So you certainly have the right voice for Les Mis. So I'm sure you'll be doing it at some
Well,
point. So
we'll manifest that.
yes, I know. I got my big Les Mis background right
OC,
here.
that right behind you, got the poster, so that that checks out.
Yeah. So you, of course, I'm sure are familiar with the Jimmy Awards.
Yes.
Yes. So Alabama has never had a seat at the table at the Jimmy Awards. We've just never had a regional awards program ever until this year. So Broadway Theater League of Huntsville, we're presenting the Tallulah Awards, which will happen on May 17th. So we're going to be, sending the very first 2 high school theater students from the state to compete in the Jimmys in June. So it's a really big deal. It's really galvanized the arts community in Huntsville. So what advice do you have for these 2 young students to compete in the Jimmy Awards? What advice do you have for them?
Wow, I mean, what a huge thing for young artists in Huntsville and in Alabama to be having that. So that's really exciting. I feel like my biggest piece of advice for young performers, and the thing that I most needed to hear, was pursue it because it excites you and you're passionate about it, and not because you think you are good enough or not good enough at it. Honestly, the best advice is be okay with being bad at it. Be okay with sucking for a while. And if you want to get good at something, you have to be bad at it for a while first, and that's actually good. It's a perk of the system, not a bug. There's nothing wrong with you. So I think my biggest piece of advice to young performers is always, if you're passionate about it, if it really excites you, keep pursuing it and press into the things that you are not as good at and learn about them, and learn about yourself through that.
That's great. I love that advice. I'm gonna let them know that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see. So I grew up in Huntsville. So I went to high school here and everything, but then I left for like 35 years for my professional acting career, and then I came back. So every decision I make is really based upon what I wish my young theater kid Kip could have had and didn't have back then. So that's why this is exciting for me to be part of it. And so hopefully, yeah, it'll be a life-changing experience for these kids.
Yes, that's huge.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, couple more questions. Do you have any pre-show rituals? Are you like superstitious at all?
I try to be as little superstitious as possible, but I do have some warm-up that I typically do, usually just during the day. At some point, I'll do some physical activity, if that's working out in the gym, whether that's getting outside for something. So there'll always be some kind of physical warm-up, and then always a vocal warm-up, 5 to 10 minutes, nothing super extensive, but always something with that. And then mentally, depending on what's been going on during the day, just some meditation will usually be a good chance for like 10 minutes to lock in mentally. So nothing too heavy and nothing too, there's no green M&Ms or no that I have to say to myself. But usually there's always a light mental, vocal, and physical warm-up for sure.
Great. Okay, I love it. Yeah, I mean, it's a slippery slope with pre-show rituals, and I know I was back in the 90s. I was touring with Cats, and I played Monkastrap, and I had this right before Peaks and Pollicles. I had to go through the lyrics and the wings right before I went on every single night, and if I didn't do it, I felt like I was going to forget the words. So yeah, stuff like that for me, but yeah, interesting.
Yes, I have been in shows where I've done that, and I've sort of set myself up in that way, and it's so tempting early on because you do it the first few times and you're like, okay, great, that was a good review, and now I'm going on. I've done that exact thing that you're talking about, where I'm like, I always do the lines for this scene. I just have to do them, whatever. And this show, I specifically was like, okay, I gotta not set that up, because then you're kind of trapped in it. So yeah.
Totally. I couldn't agree more. Okay. Walk us through a typical day in the life of Korner on tour.
Yeah, so typical day, if it's a one show day, usually we have a show at 7:30, 8 p.m. show in the evening on a one show day. So usually I'll get up and do something Probably do something in the gym on an average day. Usually I'll try to keep myself grounded in some kind of community outside of tours. So usually there's a phone call somewhere in the day with family or a friend or something that's not here. Usually, hopefully there's something in the community here as well. So maybe hanging out with a cast member or friends on the tour. And then I also write, like dabble in just like writing music and writing stuff myself. So usually there's something sort of for me in terms of like my own working on something. And yeah, with a few other little things in there, then that kind of fills the time during the day, and then the show's at night.
Great. Love it. And I noticed you do some stand up.
I've done some stand up in the past. Yeah, I mostly have stepped away from it now, but I had a little stand up phase when I was spending more time in New York. Yep.
Okay, yeah, because I saw that and I was like, oh wow, that looks absolutely terrifying to me. Like I
Yes,
just thought,
it's an interesting exercise, and I think as an actor you get to hide behind the script and the character, and that's something I love about it. And stand up was a really good exercise in being like, there's nothing to hide behind. I wrote this and I'm saying it, and if you don't like it, I just have to face the fact that you do not like what I wrote. So after that, acting with a script feels easy, you know.
that's cool. I mean, I think it's really interesting, and I think I don't know. I hope maybe like at some point you go back to it because I feel like as you get more life experience, it might be a real interesting shift. So
Yep.
yeah. Okay, so we're gonna let you go, although I could talk to you all day, I think, about all these things. But I know why I love Water for Elephants and why Huntsville's audiences need to come see it. What's the last thing you would like to say about the show and why they need to buy their tickets?
You know, I think Water for Elephants truly has something for everyone. It not only has a really heartwarming, moving story, it has that great score by Pigpen Theater Company. It also has the dazzle and spectacle of the circus, which is something that so few musicals have. So I think really no matter what you come to the theater for, Water for Elephants is going to have it, and maybe even a few things on top of that that will surprise you.
Excellent. Okay, that's fantastic. And I will definitely be seeing you when you're here. I try to I actually try to attend the company meeting on your first day just to greet everybody, and then I put together a little packet of things to do in the area. So I will be there on your first day in Huntsville, and I'll give you some ideas of things to do.
Great.
So,
Well, we'll look forward to seeing you there.
all right, excellent. All right, thanks for making time for us, and we'll see you soon.
Okay, see you soon. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Yes. Bye.